Good evening, everybody. Hello, coaches and all. Welcome to the Summer Games Volleyball Coaches Meeting webinar. I hope everybody's having a good evening and looking forward to this weekend's events. For this year, we have combined volleyball team and skills into one webinar, so we will be covering both volleyball team and volleyball skills in this webinar. So coaches of either one of those should be on here. So everybody on this webinar is muted. And if you have any questions, we love questions and we want you all to ask them, but please do not unmute yourself and start speaking. So please type those questions into the chat box. If you are on a laptop or computer, you can type it into the chat box. Or if you are on the phone listening in, you could text me on my cell phone. My number is 919-996-9720. Again, that number is on the screen. It's 919-996-9720. If you are texting me, go ahead and text that as a text message, not an iMessage. If you're on an iPhone, I'm on my cell phone since it has a better quality than the computer audio does, and sometimes it is hard to get those iMessages while we are on here. So thank you all for being on here tonight. We hope to go over some very important information. There's one very critical piece of information that we will go over extensively tonight to make sure we are all on the same page and answer any questions that you all may have. All right, so HOD page. This is where you can find all of this information along with other information about summer games. Please share this information with your coaching staff. As you all know from the past, and if you are new, this is not top secret information that you are receiving. So everything that we will be going over here this evening is not top secret information. We do want you to share that with anybody and everybody that you think needs it, other assistant coaches, your HODs, any important chaperones that you believe that will need this information. Please share it with them. You can find all of this information on the Summer Games HOD page. You can also find more information about summer games and the other activities going on, such as opening ceremony, the dance, healthy athletes. So it's not just volleyball. We have a multitude of events going on this weekend, and we are looking forward to having you all here. And again, if you have any questions, send them into the chat box. Send those into my text, into my phone if you need those answered. So who should be on this call? Everybody that needs this information should be on this call, but at least one representative from your program. So if you do not have a representative from your program, you will not be allowed to protest. No representative equals no protest. So anybody from a head coach to a sport assistant to any chaperones and anybody else that helps you and you think needs this information should be on this call this evening. So who is on this call? My name is Nathan Perkins. For all of you that do not know me, I'm on staff here with Special Olympics. I am the sport director for the East, and this is my second Summer Games on staff. So I'm looking forward to this year. I got the first year under my belt and looking forward to an even better second Summer Games with you all and really making this a special one for all of our athletes and everyone involved. We also have Sammy Rake, who is on here, part of our games management team. He is our competition manager, and he will be your go-to man for any questions regarding competition. And then we also have our co-venue director, Jean Brumley. So she will be in attendance all weekend long, and she will be a great resource if you have questions about the venue. If you have competition questions as well, she may be able to answer them and point you in the right direction. But she will be making sure that we all have a safe and awesome environment for volleyball to happen in. So those are who's on the call here with us tonight. There are many more other GMT that have put in a lot of hard work and hours into making this a successful event. So we thank them, and we look forward to working with all of you. So in case you didn't know, it is our birthday this year. So Special Olympics is 50 years young. And this year, in 2018, we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Special Olympics movement started by Eunice Kennedy Shriver in 1968. While this entire year is a celebration of this major milestone, we will really be ramping up the celebration at opening ceremony this year, so be sure to not miss out on that party. We will be celebrating the milestone all weekend long with branded souvenirs, signage, displays, featured acts at the dance. We have come so far in these past 50 years, these first 50 years, and we are really looking forward to going even further in the next 50 and really kicking that off in style. So come celebrate with us. Be sure to go to the opening ceremony and the dance. You're not going to want to miss those. There's some really cool things that our team has planned, and we're going to be celebrating this all weekend long. So happy 50th anniversary Special Olympics. Some updates on Summer Games 2018. Opening ceremony will be back at Reynolds Coliseum. We are thrilled to have it there again on the campus of NC State on Friday night. Please make sure to check out the headed delegation page for the exciting festivities planned for Friday night. The dance is Saturday night at NC State, and that will take place at the Talley Student Center. And we have many added activities, maybe some special acts to represent the 50th anniversary. In addition to that is the dorms. So being a part of Summer Games and Special Olympics North Carolina means you get to stay in the luxurious NC State dorms. That is definitely slight sarcasm. If you and or your athletes are staying in the dorms, you will need to bring your own linens. So that includes blankets and pillows. Be sure to bring your own sheets, your favorite pillow, stuffed animal, security blanket, or your sleeping bag. And don't forget your towel to make you all that much more comfortable. Nice to bring these things from home. So make sure you bring those to the dorms with you so you have something to sleep on and something to cover you up at night. There will be no marching for opening ceremony this year. Doors will open at 6:30 p.m. and a DJ will be playing music until the program starts at 7:30. All bags will be checked as you enter Reynolds Coliseum. All bags. So if you do not need a bag, then don't bring a bag. But if you do need a bag, that is more than fine. Just know that this will be checked, just like when you go into any major sporting event at PNC Arena or other stadiums around the state and country. They will be checking those bags for the safety of all of us. In addition to some updates, we also have our Healthy Athlete screenings happening again this year. They will be held at 2 different locations on NC State's campus. As you can see here on your screen is the schedule. And we are really looking forward. We're really looking forward to the Healthy Athlete screenings, and looking forward to having you all participate in those this year. So all coaches, you should make sure that you have your athletes take advantage of these Healthy Athlete screenings available on Friday and Saturday afternoons and evenings. Not only is there an incentive for the athletes that go through all 4 disciplines, but there's also the athletes who get much more needed eyeglasses and or hearing aids free of charge. So athletes can get eyeglasses made on site at Opening Eyes. They will have a glass cutting there where they'll be making glasses on site. So you can get those free of charge along with a hearing aid. And also you can get a mouth guard made as well for competition. So some really, really, really neat items that we encourage you all to take advantage of. Please make time to take your athletes to these. There's a lot of awesome dedicated medical volunteers who have dedicated their time to provide this service for the athletes. Also, a lot of staff members and volunteers who have put in a lot of time in planning this. So please take advantage of that, and please take your athletes here. I know it's a very busy weekend. Here at Volleyball, we have an extremely busy time as well. You have a full schedule from the day you arrive on Friday until the last game on Sunday. But it is well worth it. Please make time. You are the coach. You can direct them there. Take advantage of these free screenings. So, in addition to that, also check with your HOD and local coordinator if you are already registered for some of these. And if you need more information, then you can email our health director, Ellen, at the email provided to you on the screen. And again, if you have any questions, just please send those in the chat box. We will be happy to answer those, or you can text them to my cell phone as well. So now I'm going to turn it over to Jean to go over some public service announcements.
Hello. So I need to let you know that we will not be at NC State this year because they are going to be under construction, and Carmichael is getting a big overhaul over there. So we're going to be at Triangle Volleyball Club. The entrance is a little tricky to find. When you're parking in the parking lot and facing the building, that's considered the front. So if you go all the way down to the end to the right side, that's where the entrance will be, but we'll try to have signs up there for you. Spectator seating, there are bleachers at the end of each court, and it's about the same amount of seating, if not more so than what we had at Carmichael. So please tell parents and spectators to not bring chairs inside. We have the bleachers for seating. You are welcome to bring pop-up tents, lawn chairs, and coolers to set up outside. This may be a nice break from the action inside just to get out of there and the noise for a little bit. So you are welcome to do that. Just please don't take up too much space, and make sure you realize that there are other people and be courteous to those other people in their space. There is space, but it's a bit limited. So please keep that in mind. And we ask pretty please that you not bring coolers inside, because that kind of gets people to want to use stuff, drink water inside. In the past several years, we have found so many water bottles left over, and we would really appreciate it if you could encourage your athletes to bring their own reusable water bottle that you can fill up there at the venue. That would really help a lot. And I know it's kind of tricky to get athletes to keep up with that, but use a Sharpie, put their name on it, but that would be a big help, and plus save down a lot of the water bottle recycling. The courts in this gym are pretty close together, and the officials will take care of if a ball happens to go on to another player's court. So please remind your athletes to stay on their court during games. And the courts have a sport court flooring compared to the traditional wood that we're used to. So it is a little bit different. It's kind of hard but soft at the same time, if that makes sense. And please, again, no food or drinks inside other than your water bottles that you bring. A snack bar will be open for athletes and spectators, and if you do get snacks, we ask that you please take them outside to eat, and be courteous of the space inside and outside of the facility. Parking is limited, especially on Friday, so please follow directions of our wonderful venue welcome team to know where to park. And if you have a bus or van, there will be drop-off by the entrance of the facility, so please make sure to unload quickly so that the others waiting can get their drop-off. And check out the HOD page volleyball section for the parking map. That leads us to Sammy.
Are you ready for me? All right. So I'm looking forward to this summer. I can't wait to see all of you who are going to, of course, be familiar faces, and then also I look forward to meeting you if you're a new coach. I think that we have one of the better venues for Special Olympics Summer Games, and I hope that you will feel the same way at the end. Just a couple reminders. Hopefully everybody is familiar with how this goes, but Friday is just going to be shortened games, really 30-minute games. The score is insignificant on Friday. It may go past 25 because you're just going to play for 30 minutes. And all that really does is give us a chance to look at everybody and make sure that our divisioning, we still feel the same about the divisioning. Our goal obviously is to have everybody paired up as close to skill level as possible. And so Friday's just another chance for us to see everybody and make sure that we are comfortable with the divisioning. And so don't worry about the score. It's really just a 30-minute game. We try to play it just like we would on Saturday or Sunday in terms of official lineups and things like that. And the officials will take care of that. But again, tell your athletes not to worry if it looks as though you're getting blown out or whatever, because again, that would help us with the divisioning. Saturday schedule. So as soon as we're done on Friday, you guys are going to be headed off to prepare for dinner and then the opening ceremonies and everything. And while you're doing that, I'll be running back to the offices to type up Saturday's schedule. And then as soon as I get that done, you know that you'll get a text blast that will come out from Nathan and the Special Olympic office that will have Saturday's schedule. The matches on Saturday will start at 8 o'clock. Sundays will start at 9. And I know that that's early, but especially after the opening ceremonies, but that's just to ensure that we're able to get everything in so that you're all ready for the dance on Saturday night, assuming that that's what they're going to do. I'm not really sure, because I will then, after Saturday's competition, be running back to put everybody into the brackets for Sunday's competition. And Sunday's competition, of course, will determine the medals and ribbons and so on and so forth. So that's obviously very important. Uh, the pool play on Saturday, if you're in a 14 pool, then we'll try to do round robin that way so that everybody gets a chance to play. You know, my goal is always to have you play as much as possible without at the same time wearing out the athletes. So, you know, we'll try to do 3-team pools, 14 pools, you know, whatever is unique or whatever is appropriate for whatever division you're in. Then Sunday, everybody knows that Sunday's single elimination, but we have to make sure, even in a 14 pool, we have to make sure that we have all 4 places set. So even if you don't win that first match to make it to the championship round to be playing for gold and silver, we still have to play that third and fourth place game in order to be able to determine ribbons versus bronze medals. So just be ready for that on Sunday. And then hopefully, even though you might finish, we're going to try to do um, the medal ceremonies as quickly as your division ends. So even if you finish that third and fourth place game, if you could stick around for your division's award ceremonies, that would be great. There may be times when there's going to be a big gap, and if that's the case, then we would go ahead and do separate medal ceremonies for third and fourth, and then come back and do first and second at a later time. But we want to, hopefully, I'll be able to do the schedules, complete the schedule so that the divisions will finish up pretty quickly and pretty close to each other to be able to do the medal rounds all at once. Um, just some points to remember. Make sure you've turned in all of your scratches on Friday. You know, the rules can be found on Special Olympics North Carolina website. The lineup sheets, everybody, unless you're a new coach, you'll be familiar with those. We'll have those at the tables, but then you will also hopefully have those. You will have already got those in your packets, but if not, we'll have extras at the tables for you to be able to fill out. You can carry those with you from match to match, or you can do new ones. It doesn't really matter. Uniforms, everybody hopefully by now will be familiar with the uniforming, so there won't be any questions about that. But you know that our head of our officials, Rick, is a stickler for that, which he should be. Everybody has been aware of the uniforming restrictions and stuff since the beginning. You know, the numbering and stuff like that, I'm not going to go over. Uniform shorts must be the same color. Jewelry is okay, but no large hoop earrings, large necklaces, or watches. You can't block a serve for anybody who's got new players who are able to block the serve. I would love to be able to do that when I was playing, but that was never going to be the case for me. So I didn't ever have to worry about it. But if you have athletes that are capable of doing that, just remind them that they've got to be able to play it as opposed to jumping and blocking it. You can't touch the net, obviously. Back row players can't come to the front. I don't really think I need to go over all of these rules. If you have questions, just ask. The format's 2 out of 3 set matches, first 2 sets to 25. Win by 2, the third set is to 15, also win by 2. Um, let's see. We don't switch at 8 points anymore. So at the third set, everybody stays on the same side. The warm-up protocol is the same as it's always been. Each team will get 5 minutes for serving, followed by 5 minutes for of court time. This may be reduced if both teams are ready to play, especially if you just ran from one court and you got through playing and you're running over to another court to play. You really shouldn't need the warm-up time at that point, so we would dispense with that and go on and get the match started. Um, let's see. Traditional unified team coaches must coach from the bench inside of the court, but they may assist the athletes into position at the beginning of each set and during the substitutions. Only the head coach is allowed to speak with officials. The assistant coach is only allowed to coach the players, not speak with the officials. And everybody knows, again, what a stickler Rick is for those types of things, so just be careful of that. If you're a new coach, then you will learn who Rick is pretty quickly. It's a great luxury that we have to be able to have USAV officials as opposed to volunteers. Try to imagine what the games would be like if we had volunteer volleyball coaches. So we're really fortunate to have Rick and have his USAV officials, but they are stickler for rules and stuff like that. So just be aware of that. Let's see, Saturday, the games are scheduled from 8 to 4. Then Sunday, 9 to 1. We already went over all that. If you have questions, you know that I always post on my dry eraser marker boards. I'll put the brackets up. I'll put Saturday's games up on Saturday and the brackets on Sunday. You're welcome to look at that. The athletes always seem to enjoy watching your teams advance, and so I'll make sure that that happens. The competition staff, we're happy to answer any questions you may have regarding competition. If you need immediate assistance, please don't hesitate to find me, Rick, or any of the SONC staff members. Although, typically they're not around with us because we run so smoothly that we don't normally need them in there with some of the other venues, which can sometimes be a little bit, we'll just go with hectic, a little bit hectic. Okay, but again, I look forward to the weekend. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and we're going to have a great time. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Sammy, for that. And yes, as Sammy said, I'm just going to highlight a couple points. Yes, volleyball, for those of you who have been around, runs very well. We're not only lucky to have Rick and his crew, but to have Sammy and Gene and the GMT, Michelle and Steve and everybody that we have at volleyball as well. So we, as a staff member, are very lucky to have that crew there. It makes our jobs easier, and hopefully will make your weekend more pleasant and a better experience for your athletes. So as you said, the biggest thing that I just can't reiterate enough is we are at Triangle Volleyball Club. Triangle Volleyball Club, TVC. Triangle Volleyball Club in Raleigh. We are no longer at the other place. I'm not even going to say it so it doesn't get in your head. We're at Triangle Volleyball Club. Please show up there on time every single day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It is a great venue. They hold a lot of tournaments there as well. So it is a different venue, and it will get, some getting used to it. It has changed, and it is different than what you all know, especially coaches that have been involved in volleyball for a while. So it is different, but it is a good different. It's going to be a great tournament. It's a great venue. We're really looking forward to hosting it there. We're thankful for Triangle Volleyball Club for having us. So please, take care of that facility. As Gene mentioned, no water, nothing other than water on those courts. It is sport court. We don't want to mess anything up in the facility. We are guests. We do not actually own this place, just like we don't own Carmichael. So please pick up after yourself. That's the biggest thing. Whether it's outside, inside, whatever it may be, just pick up after your trash. It makes it a lot easier if you can pick up after yourself, and we don't have to go around at the end of the day and pick up after 200 people. And as Gene mentioned, there is a water bottle refiller. I don't know if you all have seen some of those. It will fill up your water bottle. Please bring those water bottles with you to save the plastic and save the environment. It just makes it easier on you, on the volunteers. So, and it is better for everybody at the end of the day. And as Sammy said, you may not see us staff around as much. I will try to pop in so I can get to know some of you that I do already know or met last year even better. I look forward to working with these guys and assisting them in one way I can. But we look forward to having you all. I do want to go over some public service announcements real quick with everybody. It's concussion. So medical volunteers at these summer games have been trained to remove an athlete from competition if there's any chance of a concussion. We do not take chances on this. So there's any chance they will be removed from play and they will not be able to return to play until they've been cleared by a doctor. So do not get upset with a medical volunteer if you think that they don't have a concussion, because they are a medical volunteer and more than likely more qualified to know whether somebody has a concussion or not. So please understand that they are doing their job and that they are doing it for the safety of the athlete. This is for the safety of the athlete. This is not to take anybody out of the game. This is to make sure they are safe. That is our ultimate priority, always. Medical will be located near, there's a medical room that is near courts 5 and 6, and also the main area in between courts 1 through 4. We will have medical personnel there. A really cool thing about this venue is we actually have our own separate medical room in case we need it. Hopefully we don't, but it is there in case we need it. So that is where medical will be, and that is for anybody at the venue, a volunteer, a coach, a chaperone, a parent, anybody, a brother, sister. If medical is needed, use them. If there is a life-threatening issue, such as a heart attack or a stroke, please call 911, but then let medical know so they can tend to that person while we are waiting for the ambulance to get there. I'm going to also, of course, let our competition management know and venue management know so everybody is aware of what is going on. Lunch will be available on both Saturday and Sunday. And as Gene mentioned, this venue is a little bit tighter. Therefore, we will be serving lunch outside under a large tent. So lunch will be served outside, and that is where you will pick it up as coaches. So as in the past, if you are new with us, please only have 1 or 2 representatives from your delegation go to pick up lunches. That way we don't have a mass exodus of people going to the lunch tent and overwhelming our lunch crew. And please place that announcement. We do not want anybody sitting there waiting, tapping their feet. When is lunch going to be ready? All it does is hamper the process. So please just wait for that announcement, and that's where lunch will be. And as Gene mentioned, we do have some outdoor space, so we highly encourage you all to bring tents and lawn chairs to set up outside. There's some grassy area in the front of the building, next to the building, that you all will have room to set up. But please be courteous of space. There's not a mass amount of room. We're not in that field, but please be courteous of space and of your surroundings and just get along. But it is a nice welcome addition that we haven't really had to volleyball since when I've been told. So this is a nice opportunity, even though, yes, it will be hot outside. It is summer, North Carolina. It'll be nice for everybody to take a break from the inside and the noise and maybe step outside for a little bit in between games to rest up. So just know that is an option for you all. It's not required, but we do encourage that for everybody. Sportsmanship, please show sportsmanship, coaches. You all set the example for your athletes. Your athletes are looking at you to set that example. So please continue to show sportsmanship. We have awesome coaches. I have no doubt in any of you that we will not have any issues with that. But do know that we do not tolerate unsportsmanlike conduct. So we have a zero tolerance policy with that. I do not want to get a call about a coach having poor sportsmanship. So please just set an example for your athletes. And emergency preparedness. For the safety of your athletes, your coaching staff, volunteers, and chaperones, please make sure you and your athletes know where the emergency exits are located. And please identify a place outside the venue where you should meet up should an emergency occur. This should be done for all venues where you're at. So the dorms, opening ceremony at Reynolds. This should be done at Fountain Dining Hall and Tally Student Center. So if you have any questions, the summer game security staff, which will be in lime colored t-shirts, and SONC staff, if we're there, we'll guide everyone to the closest exit. But we do need your help in gathering your teams, making a head count, and being able to quickly identify any missing people. So if an emergency does occur, this is not the time to panic. The athletes will follow your lead. So if you panic, they will panic. If you remain calm, they will remain calm, and all of us will remain calm. So please just remember that. But it's always better to have a plan. So go over that with your teams. Make sure they know where the exits are, and make sure they know where to meet up at. You all are in teams, so most of the day you're together. but there are instances where people get separated, and we just want to make sure that everybody is prepared for this. And we are all security while we are at this place, so if you see something, please say something to one of the GMT or an SONC staff member. We want to know, and we all want to make sure that we are providing a safe experience, a safe facility for these athletes to compete in. Another thing, just real quick on parking, this parking map, as you see on the screen, is also available on the HOD page. You can print this out. You can look over it more in depth. But this provides you with a parking idea on what this will look like here. But, of course, we will have volunteers that will help all of you get to where you need to be in the correct time. And Sammy did a good job of going over the competition point. You know, a lot of you have been doing this for a while, but we want to make sure that everybody knows the rules. It is your job as the coach to be proficient in these rules. We put a lot of work into going over rule updates. We have the webinar at the beginning of the program year, which is in August. So that webinar has been up and can still be viewed to go over the rules and any rule updates that we have for volleyball. But it's always a good practice to go online and to check out the SONC modifications and the SOI rules to make sure you're up to date on those. So please go over those. That is your responsibility as a coach. You should be well informed of the rules and the modifications created by SONC. And then the last thing, not the last thing, but individual skills. As I said, we have combined these two. A lot of you that are online are also individual skills coaches. So individual skills will be held on courts 5 and 6. They are 2 courts. It's all in one building, but they are separated by a little hallway. So we will be on courts 5 and 6. Modified volleyballs will be used for individual skills. And the way that individual skills will work is athletes will go through 1 round of competition for divisioning purposes and then placed in final divisions for competition and awards in the afternoon. Modified volleyballs, as I said, will be used. The athlete's final score is determined by adding together the scores achieved in 3 events in the final round: the volley, the serve, and pass. So their final score combines all 3 of those scores in only the final round. That is when they get placed on. The preliminary round is what we use to division them for the final round. So much like the teams play a preliminary divisioning round on Friday, the individual skills, that is the first session in the morning, and that is used to put them in competitive divisions based on the Special Olympics criteria. These preliminary divisions can be found on the Summer Games HOD page. They have been up for a while now, so please check that out. And those are the preliminary rounds. You will see their division is either a volley, a serve, or a pass. It is not numbers. This is where they will start out in. So if that says volley, they will be doing volleys first. If it says serve, they will be serving first. That will be in the preliminary round on Saturday morning. The schedule. Preliminary round starts at 10 a.m. This will go until about 11 a.m. to 11:30, and then we will take a break to division that. So final round divisions will be communicated to coaches at the venue, and the final round will begin at approximately 1 p.m. This may be moved up if it is in agreement with all coaches on site, and if we are able to do so. But we will communicate those final divisions to your athletes and get them set for final round competition. Divisions will be posted at the venue and communicated by Michelle Wood, our competition manager for individual skills. She will be back again this year. So we're looking forward to holding all competition, team, and individual skills. We are looking forward to having you all here. Individual skills awards will be presented right after the final round competition. So they will be escorted over to awards that will be held on court 7. Awards will take place on court 7. It's the empty court next to the restaurants, courts 5 and 6. For team, it will be on Sunday immediately following place deciding games. So as Sammy said, most divisions will most likely not follow or finish up at the same time. If they do, that is great. But we will go ahead and award those athletes as they finish with this place deciding games to get their medals, to get their ribbons, and that way everybody is good to go and ready to hit the road. But keep in mind the athletes to form the team division, as he said, may have to wait for other teams in the division to determine awards. So that fourth and third place game will obviously decide, the third and fourth placement there. Spectators must be clear of the awards area in order to allow room for the awards team to work. So please refrain from crowding that area. We know you all want pictures, and we want you to get pictures, but just refrain from getting too close and making a hectic scene over there at awards. We want to make sure our volunteers have plenty of room to operate and to put on an awesome and amazing award ceremony that these athletes deserve. As I said at the beginning, if you have any questions, please continue to send those in. You may send those into my text or into my phone via text or into the chat box here. But again, we have moved to Triangle Volleyball Center. We are looking forward to it. Thank you all. We actually have a few more teams participating this year. We also have a team that will be participating in USA games, our Team NC volleyball team, who will be going to Seattle here in just over a month. We'll be participating in traditional competition as well this year. So that you may see some Team NC gear walking around. They will be going to Seattle, so we'll be supporting them. Looking forward to that, and looking forward to them bringing home some hardware from Seattle here in just over a month. So as I said, if you have any questions, please send those in. We will try our best to answer between myself, Sammy, and Jean. We look forward to having you all here. And then I have a question here. On Friday, the 30-minute games, does every athlete have to play? Sammy, being a competition manager, I think it's only fitting to let you answer this one here.
Yes, I would say everybody should play, just like the expectation will be for Saturdays and Sundays. To hold someone out and have them not participate could negatively or positively affect your divisioning. So we want to be able to see everybody.
Yes, I agree with that. And especially if you're on Team NC, you should all be playing as well. We want you all to get the competition opportunity for Seattle. I have another question here. An athlete that has had foot surgery and is wearing a walking boot and allowed to play. I will answer that one on the side. So expect an answer from me over here on the side. And then I have a question. How many timeouts per game or set do we have, Sammy?
It's 2 timeouts per set, or per, if you're going by the new terminology, it's by set. If you're old school like me, then it's 2 timeouts per game.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And Saturday, we are looking to have every team play 4 games as we did last year. That is what we have built into our schedule, is for every team to play 4 games. So as long as that stays true and we have enough time and facility space, court space, we will allow for all teams to play 4 games. As Sammy said, we don't want to tire them out, and we don't want to tire them out, but we also want them to play. And Sammy, I know, wants to, let them play. That's the whole reason we're here, is to compete. So we will definitely try to accommodate that into the schedule. And as Sammy said, we will have the schedule out around the venue, and that way you can all see that and see how, especially on Sunday, how the bracket will work and which way you will move and what game you will play next. If you have any questions at the venue, definitely direct those to Sammy, Jean, Michelle, or Steve, our venue directors, and our competition managers. They have been around volleyball their entire lives. They are very knowledgeable people, and they've been doing this for a long time. So, as I said, we're very lucky to have all of them. Thank you guys for being on here tonight and for helping us to make this a great experience, a great summer games for all these athletes and coaches as well. And if you are on this call, one more thing, just loose ends we have to tie. If you are on this call, we want to make sure you get credit for that. As I said, you have to be on this call to be counted as present and to be able to protest. So please send over an email to us at sports@sonc.net, and this will prove that you have listened to this information, that you have gotten this information, because we do not say this just for our help. This information is mandatory, and we want to confirm that you know what we told you. So include in your email your name, your local program name, what sport it is. It's not swimming. It is volleyball. And the password is Spike It. So your name, the local program name, the sport, which is not swimming. If you say swimming, I will be concerned. And the password is Spike It. So please send that over to us as soon as you get off of this. That way we can count you as being present. If you have any questions that you can't think of right now, you have the cell phone that I provided to you. You also have this email, sports@sonc.net. You can send it there, and that will go out to all sports staff, and we will answer that properly. But thank you all for your time this evening. We look forward to having you all. We wish everybody safe travels, and we will see you all here in a couple of days. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks, Nathan.
Thanks, you guys.